Welcome everybody to Crystal Kyle and Friends. Today we're going to be talking to Pastor Benjamin Dixon. He reached out to me the other week with some concerning information that I want to share with you guys, especially in light of the fact that we had what is effectively a MAGA terror attack that hit in Minnesota, where multiple Democratic lawmakers were killed, others were shot. The right has been gaslighting everybody and pretending that the person who did it is somehow lefty. And so it's a weird new environment here where we have political violence on the regular and zero accountability for it. I mean, that thing fell out of the news in like 2 days.
Yeah. Well,
maybe even a day.
Trump started a war with Iran and then it fell off. But I mean, the fact that that sort of thing is now just becoming kind of like background noise in the way that school shootings previously used to be. I mean, Columbine was like, oh my God.
And now if there's a school shooting, it's like
barely makes the news.
Yep.
Republicans don't even bother to do thoughts and prayers anymore.
Yeah, they've given up on that.
Yeah.
That's right.
So unfortunately, we may be heading in that direction with regard to political violence.
That's right. That's right. But before we get to that, so a few things. First of all, I know, Crystal, you've been enjoying the absolute meltdown on the right over Zohran Mamdani winning the New York City mayor Democratic primary race, which makes, I mean, I think the betting markets have him at like 75 or 80% to win the whole thing.
Well, Bill Ackman is leading a write-in campaign for
Good
someone.
luck, fella. Good luck.
He says he's in group chats that have hundreds of millions of dollars of capital available.
That's all they have is capital. That's all they have is money.
Right.
Right.
If throwing money at the problem was going to work, then Cuomo would have been the Democratic
nominee.
nominee.
Outspent him like what, 10 to 1, 20 to 1, 30 to 1, some ridiculous. Insane.
Yeah.
So anyway, the meltdown has continued, and now what we've seen is on CNBC, the financial news network, which, by the way, for the record, in my estimation, is just as bad, if not worse, than Fox News. And I say that because you go back to the 2008 subprime mortgage crisis and Great Recession.
Oh, yeah.
All they would do is bring on the Wall Street CEOs who are criminals and be like, tell us your side of the story, and then cover for them. Even though they tanked the global economy and screwed over their workers and stole tax money as bonuses.
Yeah.
Right? So these guys are the worst of the worst. Here's their reaction to Zohran winning.
Gotham. Have you seen what Batman is up against in Gotham and what the guy running for mayor is up against? That's what it reminds me of. They're taking Wall Streeters and make him walk out onto the ice in the East River as and then they fall through.
Yep.
I mean, there is a class warfare that's going.
So what's happened here, I think,
is the rich type.
It is not the closing of a steakhouse that David Zaslav likes to, and you like to go to. Well, you and I have had dinner there a few times.
Yes. And you and I are going to recreate that place.
The rent's too high. You know what? The new mayor, potentially, of New York is going to freeze the rents, and everybody eats for free, so they don't have to worry.
Really?
Yeah.
But how about the rich?
No.
Do they get shot?
No, yes. They get taken away.
Are we kulaks?
Yes, they get taken
away.
We have to go.
In 23?
We have to leave now. But everybody else, there he is. Mamdani.
Maybe he's more moderate
winning
than we
the
think.
Democratic primary for mayor and potentially the successor of Eric Adams. That said, there's still a general election to come here in New York. By the way, of course, we're here, we talk about it, but we are talking about a $2 trillion economy. It's not nothing.
It is
he wants to get the rents down. One good way to do it is to stop all business and drive everybody out. That'll bring the rents down.
That's a very good point to go to Jersey.
This is what I call the inverted morality of the right. They always find a way to take the people who are at the top and pretend like they're the victims. I mean, we see it also with Israel-Palestine, right?
True.
The people with all the money and all the weapons doing the genocide are somehow the victims. In this scenario, but what about the poor Wall Streeters?
Right.
What about them? Out of everybody in the city, they're doing the best of fucking everybody.
Also, look at the policies he's actually proposing. It's like free buses, which is something that like 70 to 80% of New Yorkers support.
There's no such thing as a free bus, Crystal.
Freezing the rent just for rent stabilized apartments. Like none of this, any European city, if a mayor proposes stuff, it's small ball stuff. And yet they have a total meltdown. It reminds me so much of Chris Matthews. When
they're going to take him to Central Park and shoot him.
He thinks he's going to get lined up in Central Park in front of some firing squad. It's just so preposterous. And the other thing that drives me crazy about it is in that first portion, he's like, this is class war. Oh, really? How about Trump's tax cut for the rich? Is that class war against the working class?
Yep.
Yes, actually it is. But you never see it when it goes in that direction. How about the fact they're going to take healthcare away from 10 million people? Is that class war? No, you never see that part. It's only when the rich are asked to pay a little bit more so that people can have, I don't know, childcare, pre-K, buses, like make it so it's theoretically possible for people to even live in New York City at this point. And that at its core, like Zohran put affordability at the core of his campaign. And for so long, New York City and specifically Manhattan has been run for those assholes on CNBC, who, by the way, probably don't even live in New York City. I think Kramer already lives in Jersey, by the way. Many of them live in Connecticut. So many of them are not even New York City residents. But they, whether they live in the city or not, that is who it has been run for. And what he's saying is, look at all these working class people who, by the way, many of them are having to flee the city because they can't afford to live here. I am going to reorient this government so it's about those are the people that we're going to try to serve. Those are the people we're going to try to make the city affordable for. And so, you know, that is not a radical vision. That's just a repudiation of the Michael Bloomberg vision of the city as a quote unquote luxury good for the, you know, not just New York elite, but truly for the global elite.
Those people have no idea what it's like to be working class. The ones whining about Zohran's policy, you know, like they have no idea what it's like to be working class. Their idea of oppression, as you heard them right there, our beloved steakhouse might shut down. Like, bro, you got people who can't pay the fucking rent.
We went there together, like this steakhouse.
This can't be replaced. Like, you got people who can't pay the fucking rent, who are just struggling to get by, who are like getting eviction notices, who work 2 jobs, 3 jobs, and can't fucking afford dick. And there they are, like, who's going to think of the poor Wall Streeters? Like, you have got to be kidding me, bro. I mean, like I said, 2008, subprime mortgage crisis and Great Recession. These people are the criminals of this country. They are criminals.
Yeah.
How many people lost their homes because of their predatory loan schemes that they used, right? And then, like I said, they got taxpayer money and gave it out as bonuses to the same assholes that bankrupted their companies. Like, these are the villains.
Yeah.
And there's zero reckoning with that. It's that inverted morality thing where it's like, anybody who's at the top, anybody who's an oppressor, anybody who's done well, they're actually the oppressed. And the person who is the oppressor is like the Bangladeshi immigrant cab driver.
Right.
Who 70% of their money goes towards rent. It's like, how dare they put their boot on our neck? Like, fuck you, bro.
How dare they exist? I mean, that's the Stephen Miller and the Charlie Kirk and the Marjorie Taylor Greene and the Laura Loomer reaction to Zohran's election is just so mask off, out and out, brazenly racist that it's, I mean, I can't even say it's extraordinary. It's just like par for the course for these people.
Yeah, but it has gotten more, it's more forthright now than it used to be.
It's just totally out in the open.
I mean, they compared Zohran to fucking Al-Qaeda.
Insane.
And as I said, Trump literally did a deal with the new leader of Syria, who was a leader of an Al-Qaeda branch, and that they love. Well, but Zohran, some lefty, you're actually Al-Qaeda.
Who appears to be pretty secular, let's be. I mean, there's no sign he's like some, religious fanatic whatsoever.
No.
And meanwhile, you want to talk about religious fanaticism, like look at some of the psychos you have in your own government.
Mike
Trump,
Huckabee.
Yeah, Trump sending out that text from Mike Huckabee saying basically like you're on a mission from God to nuke Iran. Like, you have legit religious fanatics who are in control in the Trump administration, including him himself at this point. Not that he was ever like some devout Christian, but now he thinks he's like literal God, has this Messiah complex. And you're worried about this guy who wants to like make life affordable and have free childcare, that he's going to implement Sharia law in New York City. Like, get serious. And then the other part of it that's driving me crazy is Stephen Miller, of course, immediately goes to his great replacement theory.
Of course.
White nationalist bag of tricks. And just claim, if it wasn't for all these immigrants, this is what you get when you import the third world. Those are things that Charlie Kirk is saying as well. And it's like, first of all, cut out the racism. Second of all, let's be honest. If it was only white people that voted in New York, Zohran would have won by even more than he did.
Right.
But this was a true multiracial coalition, which is why they hate it and why they have to lie about it. Because his whole strategy is divide and conquer. It's to set immigrants against native-born people, all in service of protecting the wealth of the people we just watched on CNBC. That's the project. And so he can't acknowledge the fact that actually this was a huge coalition of all sorts of races, all sorts of ethnicities, all sorts of religions, native-born and immigrant, and truly a generational reckoning against the mainstream of the Democratic Party. Like, he cannot acknowledge that, because if you see that kind of universalism and solidarity among different races, that's deadly to his disgusting racist project of white nationalism in service of the oligarchy.
This just occurred to me now, but so Stephen Miller basically wants a white ethno state, right?
Correct.
What are some of the places in the world that are like not white ethno-states, but like just demographically speaking, they're very, very white. Of course, you think of Scandinavia.
The Nordic countries,
right?
yeah.
Okay, what are the Scandinavian countries? They have free college, universal health care, high union rates, strong social safety nets, paid time off. And those are all the policies that this guy's fucking against. So it really just boils down to what? Me no like brown people. Like, that's literally the gist of it, is me no like brown people. And here you have this phenomenally charismatic guy who he's got awesome policies, and they can't help themselves but go full mask off. I mean, the thing Charlie Kirk said and Laura Loomer said, bringing up like 9/11 and saying it looks like we've forgotten, because you know they never forget shit.
God.
It looks like it's like you're literally just saying, I know there's over 1 billion Muslims in the world, they're all terrorists, basically.
Yeah.
It's like, why do we even allow these people in the political conversation is my question. Like,
it's disturbing.
The political conversation has been hijacked by like fucking Nazis. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like, let's get them back in the fucking closet, right? Let's shame them out of public existence, because they add nothing to the conversation. Nothing.
Yeah, things have been put on the table now that just didn't used to be on the table. Like for a member of Congress to just be that out and out brazenly racist. And it's just like, oh, it's just another day. Or like Randy Fine. Say, oh, let's nuke Gaza.
Yeah, let's nuke Gaza. Let's kill them all.
And this is just a blip on the radar. Like barely goes mentioned.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Rashida Tlaib gets censured for being pro-Palestine.
Right.
But they say, let's murder every Gazan. Yawn. Nobody says anything. Not even fucking Chuck Schumer or anybody. No Democrats are like, yeah, that's fucked up.
Yeah,
you know?
And then last thing on this is Cuomo, sources say, is going to drop his bid. So that's positive. But you still have, you know, Schumer and Jeffries. Oh, they say they're going to meet with Zohran. Like, this is the Democratic nominee.
Right.
In your city/state.
Mm-hmm.
You get behind him. Like, what is the freaking holdup? Okay, great. We're going on to November. Congratulations. We're behind you. How freaking hard is that? It's insane to me that this isn't just like a given that they would, yeah, he won the Democratic, voters spoke in a Democratic primary. This is the guy they chose. Guess what? You may not like him. You may prefer this freaking corrupt, sex pest, disgusting criminal Andrew Cuomo, but your guy lost. That's democracy. Now time to get behind him and move on. But when it's the left, they never do that.
Hey guys, we had a conversation with Pastor Benjamin Dixon this week. It was an awesome conversation. He has some evidence and some details about potential more right-wing MAGA terrorism that's going to happen in this country. It's a super timely conversation, especially given what just happened in Minnesota. So definitely sign up on Substack below, watch the full thing. You don't want to miss it. And also, by the way, he's got this new project, thisspace.tv. Definitely check out thisspace.tv, and you can reach Pastor Ben at heypastorben@gmail.com.